Cruise crew will always smile at you. That's their job, and honestly, they are genuinely good at it. But behind the scenes, in the crew corridors, at the crew bar after a long shift, in the galley during a quiet moment, they are absolutely talking about passengers. And, some of the things they notice, remember, and say to each other might genuinely surprise you. This isn't gossip. This is the stuff that actually matters. Because when you understand how you're being perceived on board, you can make small, easy changes that lead to a noticeably better cruise experience. Better service, better cabin care, better dining. And yeah, a lot less friction you never knew you were causing. So let's get into it. 13 things cruise crew notice about passengers, and what smart cruisers do differently. 1. They know within 5 minutes whether you're going to be a problem. Embarkation day is the single most chaotic day of the cruise. For passengers, yes, but also for every single crew member on that ship. Cabins are being turned over. Hundreds of bags are being sorted. Safety checks are running. Guest services is fielding a line that wraps around the corner. And right in the middle of all of that, crew are watching how passengers handle the stress. The traveler who snaps at a porter because their cabin isn't ready yet. The couple who treats the check-in staff like a punching bag over a mustard drill time. The person demanding immediate answers to 5 questions at once while the crew member is already helping someone else. These people are remembered. Not maliciously. Crew are professionals. But the mental note gets made, and it travels. The passengers who stay patient, say no rush, and treat embarkation chaos like the minor inconvenience it is, they get noticed in the best possible way, and that sets the tone for the entire trip. 2. Your cabin steward has figured you out by day 2. Your cabin steward is typically responsible for somewhere between 15 and 20 cabins, depending on the ship and the cruise line. They work fast, they work hard, and they develop a very accurate read on guests extremely quickly. Within the first 2 days, they already know if you're someone who leaves the room tidy or destroys it. They know if you've placed cash on the nightstand as a gesture of appreciation. They know if you acknowledge them by name or walked past them without making eye contact for 3 days straight. None of this changes whether the room gets cleaned. That part happens regardless. But the extra towel animal, the perfectly positioned pillows, the small personal touch that makes you feel like you're being genuinely cared for, that is discretionary. And stewards who feel respected tend to extend it. Learning your steward's name on day 1 costs nothing. It changes the dynamic completely. 3. The chronic complainer is recognized within 24 hours and quietly gets less. Here's something crew will never tell you to your face. There is a passenger type they can identify almost immediately, not based on legitimate complaints. Those are handled professionally and resolved. But based on the volume, the tone, and the pattern. The chronic complainer finds something wrong with every meal. The entitled guest demands exceptions to every policy. The invisible tipper removes auto gratuities and then tips nothing individually either. The last-minute person shows up 5 minutes before a venue closes and expects full service. Crew are trained to give every guest an excellent experience. And they do. But there is a difference between what a crew member is required to do and what they choose to do. The passenger who is pleasant, reasonable, and genuinely appreciative consistently receives more of the latter. If you have a real issue, raise it, calmly, clearly, specifically. That's how it gets fixed. But the guest who treats every minor inconvenience as a crisis eventually stops getting the benefit of the doubt. 4. What actually happens at the crew bar after their shift? Most passengers have no idea that below the passenger decks, there's an entirely separate world. Crew mess halls, crew recreation spaces. And yes, on many ships, a crew bar where staff unwind after their shifts end. The conversations that happen there are exactly what you'd expect from people who've spent 8 to 12 hours serving hundreds of strangers. The day gets processed. The memorable moments get shared. And certain passengers become stories. Not in a mean-spirited way. Crew members, by and large, genuinely enjoy the job and like most of the people they meet. But the guest who caused an unreasonable scene at guest services, or the table that snapped their fingers at the dining room waiter, or the person who was spectacularly rude at the buffet, those stories get told. The passengers who also become stories? The ones who learned a crew member's name and asked about their home country. The family whose kids were genuinely polite. The couple celebrating an anniversary who treated everyone around them with warmth. Those stories get told too. And they feel a lot better. 5. The buffet is where passenger behavior is most visible and most judged. This might be the one that surprises people the most. The buffet is a high-traffic, high-stress environment that runs for hours at a time. Crew are watching, not because they're looking for something to criticize, but because it's a working environment and people's behavior there directly affects the efficiency and atmosphere for everyone. What gets quietly noticed? Passengers who take enormous amounts of food and leave most of it uneaten. People who touch shared serving utensils with used plates or reach past others without acknowledging them. Anyone who treats the buffet staff, who are working incredibly hard in a hot, fast-moving environment, as invisible. And on the other side, passengers who say thank you to the person refilling the scrambled eggs at 7 in the morning. The couple who clear their own plates when they're done. The guest who smiles and says good morning like they actually mean it. Buffet staff are among the least acknowledged crew on the ship. A 30-second moment of basic human decency can genuinely make their day, and they absolutely remember the people who give it to them. 6. Guest services knows exactly how you're going to handle a problem before you even open your mouth. The team at guest services, also called the purser's desk on some ships, handles an extraordinary range of issues every single day. Billing disputes, lost items, cabin concerns, shore excursion problems, medical questions, noise complaints, everything, really. They are very, very good at their jobs, and honestly, they've seen every version of how a passenger approaches a problem. The guest who arrives already escalated, loud, threatening, demanding to speak to a manager before the crew member has had a chance to respond, almost always takes longer to resolve than the guest who arrives calm, explains the issue clearly, and gives the staff a chance to actually help. This isn't a theory, it's logistics. An escalated situation requires more steps, more documentation, more management involvement. A calm, clear request gets triaged faster. If you have a real problem on board, and from time to time you might, the smartest approach is also the most effective one. State what happened. State what you're hoping for. Let the team work. The results are almost always better that way. 7. Yes, there is a way passengers get flagged, and it follows you. This one is worth knowing because most passengers have no idea it even exists. Cruise lines maintain internal guest records. When a passenger has a legitimate complaint that gets resolved, that's noted. When a passenger has a pattern of disruptive behavior, repeated violations of ship policies, or threatening conduct toward crew or other guests, that also gets noted. In serious cases, this can result in being disembarked at a port. In less extreme cases, it can affect future bookings, loyalty status, or simply the level of good faith extended to that passenger on board. The bar for this is real misconduct, not minor complaints or personality clashes. The vast majority of passengers will never come anywhere near this. But it does explain why some guests who feel they're being treated differently sometimes genuinely are, and why the behavior that got them there was the starting point. 8. Crew know when you've removed your gratuities. And it matters more than you might think. Gratuities on a cruise ship are not the same thing as a restaurant tip. They are a core part of how many crew members, particularly cabin stewards, dining staff, and behind-the-scenes hospitality workers, are compensated. When a passenger removes automatic gratuities and leaves nothing in their place, that doesn't go unnoticed. Crew know. The distribution structure means the impact is visible to the people it affects. This doesn't mean gratuities should never be adjusted. If you had a genuine service failure and raised it with guest services without resolution, adjusting gratuities can be appropriate. That's what the system allows for. But removing gratuities as a budget-saving strategy, particularly on lines where crew compensation is heavily dependent on them, is one of the things that crew discuss honestly because it directly affects their livelihoods. Cash tipping for crew members who gave you exceptional service is always noticed and always appreciated. A small gesture to your cabin steward mid-cruise can mean more than most passengers realize. 9. What crew actually love about passengers? And, this part really matters. We've covered a lot of the friction points in this video, but here's the other side, because it's just as real. Crew members spend months at a time away from home, far from their families, working long hours in a demanding environment. The passengers who remember this, who treat them as people rather than just service functions, genuinely stand out. Asking a crew member where they're from and actually being curious about the answer, learning 2 words of their language, noticing that someone has been working hard and saying so, letting a child be polite and watching a crew member light up in response. These moments are talked about too, not with surprise, crew don't set the bar low, but with genuine warmth. Because the job is hard and the people who make it feel worthwhile are remembered. The smartest cruisers aren't just the ones who avoid the mistakes, they're the ones who add something to the environment instead of just taking from it. And on a ship where the same crew is serving you every day for a week or 2 weeks, that addition really compounds. 10. Your dining room staff have tracked your preferences faster than you have. On a traditional cruise ship with assigned dining, the same staff work the same section every night. By the 3rd evening, your waiter already knows you prefer water with no ice. They've noticed you always pass on the bread basket. They've clocked that you ordered the fish both times it appeared on the menu. They remember this because it's their job, yes, but also because, honestly, genuinely good service is something most dining room staff take pride in. They want to anticipate. They want to get it right before you even ask. The passengers who become dining room favorites aren't the ones demanding the most. They're the ones who are warm, engaged, and every now and then curious about the staff themselves. The guest who asks their waiter's name and actually uses it. The couple who arrive on time, greet the team, and seem genuinely happy to be there. Those tables get a different energy. Not better food, the galley doesn't change. But a different quality of attention, of warmth, of small touches that elevate an already good meal into something truly memorable. 11. Crew notice how you treat other passengers. And, not just crew. This one catches people off guard. Crew are trained to maintain a positive, safe, onboard environment for everyone. Part of that means being aware of interpersonal dynamics between guests, especially in shared spaces like elevators, pool decks, dining rooms, and entertainment queues. The passenger who cuts aggressively in a boarding line. The couple who play music loudly on a balcony at midnight while people are sleeping on either side of them. The person who snaps at another guest over a sun lounger. Crew see this. And when the same passenger later has a complaint that requires good faith to resolve, the context isn't entirely lost. On the flip side, the guest who holds the elevator door. The person who quietly lets someone with a mobility issue go ahead at disembarkation. The family who doesn't let their kids run through the corridors at full speed. Crew notice that too. A cruise ship is a community. The people who treat it like one consistently have a better time than the people who treat it like a private resort. 12. The last day matters just as much as the first. There's a version of cruise etiquette that treats the final day as an afterthought. Rooms left in disarray, disembarkation instructions ignored, billing disputes handled aggressively at the desk in the final hours. What most passengers don't realize is that the last impression carries real weight. Cabin stewards still need to turn those rooms around. Disembarkation logistics affect hundreds of people, not just the one passenger who decides the instructions don't apply to them. And the billing dispute that gets escalated at 7 a.m. on departure day is the one that takes the longest to resolve. By design, there's no extra time. Smart cruisers treat the last day with the same consideration they brought to the first. They leave the cabin in reasonable shape. They follow the disembarkation color coding. They deal with any billing questions the evening before, when there's actually time. And if they cruise the same line again, which many do, that final impression travels. Notes on guest records don't get wiped between sailings. 13. The one thing crew wish every passenger actually understood. Pull everything in this video together and there's a single thread running through all of it. Crew members are not a feature of the ship. They're not a service layer built into your vacation package. They are people, most of them far from home, missing their families, working contracts of 6 to 9 months in an environment that doesn't stop regardless of how tired they are. The passengers who understand this, who treat them accordingly, don't have to work hard at it. It's not about being performatively friendly or tipping at every turn. It's about basic human acknowledgement, a genuine thank you, a moment of patience during a busy stretch, the willingness to treat the person serving your dinner as exactly that, a person. Crew will serve every guest professionally. That part doesn't change. But the experience of being on a ship where you've made a handful of genuine human connections, where your steward looks genuinely happy to see you, where your waiter remembers your preferences because they care, not just because they're trained to, that is a fundamentally different cruise. And it starts with you, not with them. That's what crew notice. That's what gets talked about. And now that you know it, you're already ahead of most of the passengers boarding that ship with you. If this gave you a different way of thinking about your next cruise, drop it in the comments. And if you want part 2 with more of what happens behind the scenes on a cruise ship, let me know. There's a lot more where this came from.